Wholeness, Balanced Vibrations. I'd like to welcome you to another Sacred Light conversation. I am holding the space, Marcus Robbins, aka Christolight 33, and we have a wonderful guest. She is a multifaceted energy healer and practitioner. She works in hypnosis work. She works in Reiki, energy healing, and she also teaches and does attunements as well. Her name is
Mm-hmm.
Lisa, and she comes from Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
So the topics that we are going to be speaking on in this conversation are regarding being able to discern different energies within your field and outside of your field as well. And we will also be speaking on the topic of knowing your personal sovereign consent when it comes to being active and functioning in this world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'll go ahead and jump right in. So we'll start with the being able to discern the different energies. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so what are the main points that jump out to you when it comes to discerning energies?
Well, I think that for a lot of people, and thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this. It's quite an honor, so I thank you for that. But what I feel is that as a lot of people start to come on to the ascension path, where they're energetically raising their vibration, they're becoming more and more in tune and in alignment, and they're much more sensitive to energy. And as your vibration begins to rise, what you'll notice will happen is that you can no longer tolerate long periods of time, or as well lower vibrational beings, structures, things like that. Whereas maybe a couple of years ago you could navigate quite easily in certain situations, like going to low vibrational spaces, like going to clubs and bars and things, and you might, or being in like big crowds of people wouldn't have bothered you very much. Whereas now, all of a sudden, as your vibration rises, your energetic signature is getting higher, you have less tolerance for low vibration, or you become overwhelmed and bombarded with energy. So, like, for instance, going to a mall for someone who's got a high vibrational signature can be very overwhelming, and it can be almost
Oh, yeah.
draining, because what's happening is you're feeling, you're perceiving all the energy around you on a scale that you may have not had before. So your perceptions, like if you think of all our natural senses, right? We see, we can smell, we hear, we taste. Well, now you have like you've built up your energetic muscle in a way. And so now your energy is really acting as a primary receptor, right? And so you go into a very crowded, chaotic, like a mall or something, and you're picking up on the collective energy around you on all levels, right? And that can be quite overwhelming. It feels like all of a sudden someone has turned the volume up really high, and it can start to make you irritable. You can start to feel very tired, foggy, drained. Sometimes even the lights, the fluorescent lights and the music, all of it, it can really, it's a very inorganic kind of environment. And when you're sensitive, it can really drain you, right? And so I feel like, and it might be not be something you trust initially, because in the past you're able to tolerate this very easily, and so you might think like, this is really weird, I don't know why I feel like this. And you discount the energy, right? The energetic aspect of it. So as your energetic signature rises, you become more heart-centered, you become more intuitive, your connection to the divine becomes stronger. When you are in a low vibrational space, or a space where you're being bombarded with the collective energy around you, you're going to feel the contrast. So there's going to be a big difference from when you're in your home environment, which you've kind of created that space. It should be a sacred space for you, where you own the energy in that space. You feel very comfortable. You go there and it's like a place to kind of regenerate. And then when you go out into the world, sometimes it just can be overwhelming, like even in traffic. You can be driving in traffic and you can all of a sudden you can feel bombarded with energy. You can start to feel very irritable. You can start to actually because you're picking up on the energy of everybody around you, and you can start to find yourself getting into a very angry space, even though 5 minutes ago, before you got in your car, you were perfectly fine. And you're like, what has just happened to me? Why have I gone from being really kind of in a really good mood when nothing seemingly on the outside has happened, and why now all of a sudden am I angry, tense, irritable? Well, it's because the energy around you in the outer environment, because you're perceptive and you're perceiving it, it's affecting you. And the trick is to be aware that this is not me. This is the energy around me, and then know how to transmute it, and know how to create kind of your own energetic space and really anchor in your own frequency, and so that you can't be dragged into the emotional density of the world around you, because you get destabilized and you get knocked off center, and it can be really overwhelming, and then it takes you longer sometimes to get back into kind of balance after that. But I think it's like practicing energetic hygiene. So just as you would brush your teeth, you have a shower, that sort of thing. I think as your frequency rises, you're ascending, your consciousness is ascending, your heart's centered. I think a really good practice is to get into what I call energetic hygiene. So that is taking care of your energy body and recognizing that it is a primary sense that you have, and that you perceive through energy. I mean, energy is everything, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you say energetic hygiene, I kind of some things that come to mind for me when it comes to like how I take care of my personal space that could correlate to that would probably be using sage and Palo Santo, smudging my space
Mm-hmm.
whenever I feel that there's like density or something clinging on, or I'm just having
Yeah.
negative thoughts or emotions. Usually just
Mm-hmm.
burning a little bit of sage, just smudging around my body and my area
Mm-hmm.
does some pretty good wonders. It just
Mm-hmm.
releases and lightens up the space, and I feel my
Yeah.
mind uplift automatically. Um,
Yeah.
else,
Yeah.
something else
It, cl-
I would think of when it comes to that also is just bringing the mind and bringing the focus to the breathing.
mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think that there's all kinds of different practices you can incorporate into your daily routine, or you'll know when you need to do these things, right? Because you'll feel off center, you'll feel out of alignment. And so you'll know. And so like doing smudging or cleansing, using sacred herbs to clear the energy of your space is fantastic. Um, Breathing will always anchor you back in, get you back into the heart center, get you back into alignment, and it gets your energy kind of anchored again. Spending time in nature, even going outside, and just breathing in deeply, and breathing like with the intention of breathing in through the nose and bringing the energy into the heart center, and holding it in the heart space and just connecting, feeling connected into the earth. And what I'll do even sometimes is I'll go outside even in bare feet if I feel like ungrounded or if you feel irritated, and I'll ask that the earth transfuse any negative energy and drain it out of me. And I imagine like I am connected through my feet into the earth, and feel like the light is pouring through, and that anything negative is being pushed into the earth to be transmuted. And the earth will gladly do that, and it will ground you as well. Even leaning against a tree can do that too. Ask the tree, say, please, can you take this negative energy? And that's one way. If you feel very drawn to nature and the earth, that's a really great thing to do. Another thing I tell people all the time is salt. So salt baths. So taking a bath with salt water, Epsom salts, is a purifier of your energy body. It's so funny because we often think that when you're not feeling well, you're kind of tired, or you're feeling a little drained, and you have a shower, you instantly feel so much better, right? And we think it's because, oh, we're clean, or the water's woken us up, or now we're clean. But what we don't, I think, always realize is that the water is cleaning our energy body as well. Water is a natural element, right? So water will actually wash away negativity. It will actually, it's an element, so it's connecting you. And water is incredible because water actually has the ability to retain memory. So oceans and things, they actually have a very powerful energetic signature, and whatever water kind of surrounds itself in, it actually will pull the energy out of that. So if you've heard about these experiments where they take water and they speak negatively to, waters with some crystal, and then they speak positively to another, and the water starts to grow crystals and things. So the water is like an energetic conductor. Okay, so it picks up on energy. So if you have negative energy around you, what you do is you can get into the shower and imagine the water just washing away any negativity, and ask the water to neutralize and cleanse your space, cleanse your auras, cleanse your energy body. And I swear it draws out the negative, draws out density, pulls it right out. So that's a really, for someone, if you're very highly and you have a lot of, you're an empath or you're extremely sensitive, I think having these baths or showers, fantastic way to just transform your energy very quickly. What I like the most, though, is something I call shielding. And when I say shielding, I never want anyone to be doing this practice out of like fear, where, oh, I have to protect myself. I have to protect myself from negative energy. No, to me, when you put yourself in your own personal shield, it's fortifying your energy body. It's fortifying your light body, and you're building energetic muscle, and you're commanding your space. You're saying, this is my personal space. This is my energy. My consent and my authority and my sovereignty is all embodied within this pillar of light, which is kind of acting as like a barrier around your energy field. And nothing that doesn't resonate with me or that is out of alignment with me is permitted to enter my space. So it's really about building your energetic muscle and then commanding your space, not out of fear, but out of your own knowing that you have the right to command your space, that you have the right to your soul sovereignty, as I like to put it, and that you are not going to go out into the world and be thrown around by all the energy out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a way to command your space, and it's a really people, it doesn't take that long. What I recommend is you imagine a light, and it really can be any color that resonates. It can be a pure white light, it can be like a platinum color, it can be a platinum color infused with like these pastel rainbow colors. It can be gold light, which is solar energy, which is fantastic. It can be purple, like really whatever resonates with you. But like what I say is, make the intention to open the crown, connect with source, that high dimensional energy, pull it in through the crown, and imagine that this energy is permeating not only your bones, your skin, your blood, your brain, your heart, your lungs, every major organ, every cell of your body will permeate in this energy. And then take that energy down through the central vertical channels. So it kind of extends from the crown, it runs down the body, down through all the chakra centers, and ground the energy into Mother Earth. So you connect into the Earth star, or Mother Earth, into the Earth grid, and then you are connected above and you're connected below and you're in balance. And then what you do is when you've got yourself, you feel like I'm permeated with this high dimensional energy. I myself call it 12th dimensional energy, but it's really whatever resonates with you. If you like source energy, however, whatever resonates. And then what I do is I breathe in this energy and I imagine it coming in and going out, going into my heart, and then I push it out of my heart center. And I say, I am God, I am sovereign, I am free. And I'll say it 3 times, right? And that I'm commanding my space, and that only energy that serve the oneness or serve unity may enter this space with the intention of pure love. Anything else, no moss, you're not invited in here, right? And so what that does is, as you practice this, as you continue to do this, you're building energetic muscle, you're making your own energy field stronger, you're fortifying your energy body. You're repairing if you have weakness in your aura, because sometimes people can have weaknesses in their aura from emotional pain and things they're carrying, and there can be trauma, there can be ancestral pieces to that. There's a lot of pieces to that. But as you practice putting yourself in this pillar of light, what you're doing is you're revitalizing, you're strengthening your own energy body, and you're basically saying, I am now commanding my space, as is my right. I am now holding myself in the energy I wish to vibrate in. Right? Does that make sense? Does that
Yeah,
make sense? Yeah.
absolutely.
Of course.
It makes sense to
Yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, yeah, that's very valuable information that you shared. Thank you for sharing all that.
Mm-hmm.
I really like how you shared like actual techniques that can be used. That's very
And
helpful.
it's not, well,
Like,
it's not complicated either. It's really the intent. So people say to me, well, I can't visualize the light and I can't, don't worry about that initially. You don't have to be concerned about doing it perfectly or doing it right or having some kind of like a transcending experience. All you have to do is set the intention. It's the intention. I'm connecting with source energy. I'm connecting with 12th dimensional healing, light, love. Like, I'm connecting with that higher frequency, and I'm anchoring it into my physical body, and then I'm going to anchor it into the earth, and I'm going to push that out and create a pillar of light around me that's going to act as a barrier, and it's going to strengthen my energy body and fortify me. And it's all about intention. Even if you can't initially perceive the light, or you can't see it, or you can't visualize it, if you can't feel it initially, it does not matter. All that matters is your intent, and it will come, it will build, and you will become more aware of it. And I feel like it's a really great way to get yourself centered, get yourself balanced, and get yourself grounded as well. If you're feeling a little ungrounded, you're feeling foggy, you're feeling like groggy, like you've taken too much cold medication, you're drained. It's a really great way to get yourself back. And it's as simple as just imagining, okay, like putting up this pillar of light, anchoring in the light, and you can do it like that anywhere, right? And you can push that light out around you. The thing that is complicated with like when you're at home, you own that energetic space. It's like gridded to you. It's like you stamp your name on the energy,
yeah,
and you own that space. When you go out into the world, it doesn't work like that. The way I understand it is the laws of the universe. There's something called the law of structure. So the law of structure basically means that anytime you create anything, it could be a business, it can be art, it can be like a physical object. If you are the creator of that, you own the energetic signature of that creation. And you can put your intent into that. Your energetic signature can go into that, whatever intention you may have. And as the creator, nobody can change that energetic structure. So if we look at that, like if you're an artist and you're creating something from the heart center, and you have an intention of uplifting people when they look at the art, or um, creative expression, or being your authentic self, and you put all of that and you pour it into your art, and people, when they look at that piece or they buy that piece, they will emanate off of it. Okay.
Mhm.
Same with corporations and businesses. So if we want to talk about, let's say, a financial institution, or even if we want to get into healthcare a little bit, like a hospital, um, within the structure, there there may be very well-intentioned, heart-centered people working within the structure, within the organization, and that's wonderful. But whoever created the structure at the top, whatever intention they had, permeates throughout that structure, throughout that business, and that energy governs it. So when you think about, even like when you're out shopping, you go into, let's say, a big store like a Walmart, think about how that feels. And then if you go into, let's say, a small business, like a grocer, or like a small store, or where the people are, they have a very specific intention to serve their community. They've got a very pure intention.
Mhm.
There's a big difference in the energetic signature there. Okay. And so what I think is important to remember is, when you find yourself in a structure that you don't own and you can't own, um, be mindful of, what is the structure? And these structures are often, they can be what I call inverted. So like, I don't know, big pharma, for instance, I'm going to go for it. They're out there telling you that they're all about health, and they want people to be well, or they want to, that they're invested in people's health. Well, that's questionable. I would say that that is absolutely not the intention behind that structure. And what they're really interested in is something, at the very most, the least, it's making money. At the worst, it could be actually damaging people's genetics, making people very ill, making people dependent, making people feeling um, helpless, that they don't have any authority over their own health, all those things. So there's a lot of things that play with like big pharma, right? So think about it. You're going into, let's say, a hospital that is really kind of in partnership with big pharma. I'm not saying that people who work in hospitals have bad intentions. I'm just saying that the overriding structure there, they may tell you it's one of health and wellness, but whoever created that structure at the top, that may in fact be the exact opposite of what they're saying. Do you know what I mean? And the energy, you'll feel that energetic signature if you are paying attention to it. And so what they say and what they are could be like, they're saying we're this, but really we're really this. And you walk in there and you're a high vibrational being. You're heart centered. You're sensitive to energy, and you walk into one of these structures, and it's like a collision will happen, and you may feel knocked off center, you may feel irritable, you may feel like you can't focus, and it's like, what's going on here? Well, I would tell you that you are walking into an opposing structure that directly opposes your energy, and it's not in alignment with you. So what do? Well, you can't change the energetic structure because you don't own it, but you can put yourself in your own pillar and command your own personal space and say, I am not in consent with this energy. I am not allowing this energy to permeate me. I recognize where I am. I'm going to spend the least amount of time that I have to in the structure, but while I'm in the structure, I'm going to fortify myself and I'm going to command my space, right? Um, and so that certainly, I mean, is something that you can do to mitigate the drain, because it can be extremely draining. And if you have a high vibrational signature too, something that I always tell people is that if you think about the analogy of a moth to a flame, right? So you, as a high vibrational person or being, you would have a massive amount of light around you that will radiate through you. And what happens is that when you think about it, you know, moss or darker elements will be drawn to that, because it's just, that's the way things go. So sometimes people with who are in pain or who are vibrating in a lower emotional space will be naturally drawn to you. And sometimes it's because on a subconscious level, they realize that you are a safe person. You're someone who has healing qualities about you that emanates uh, an energy that is very appealing to them. Um, and sometimes they'll be drawn to you, but they also can be kind of parasitic in that they may kind of look to you as a source of energy to kind of drain. And people are like, well, what do you mean by that? Well, these can be people who empty all their problems out onto you, who will talk and talk and talk, who actually who come too close into your personal space, and they're talking and talking all about all of the things, things that bother them. They're in a negative space, and what can happen is they'll go away feeling lighter and they feel better for talking to you because you have this beautiful energetic signature. But then what can happen to you is you feel very drained, you feel tired, you feel irritable, you're like,
Oh
and
yeah.
that what happens is that person just drained your energy. And I'm not suggesting they're doing it on a conscious level, because a lot of people are not aware of this stuff, but it doesn't matter, it's still happening. And so that is another occasion where you would want to put yourself in that shield of light and say, no, I am absolutely aware of what's happening right now. I have compassion for you, but I am not taking on your energy, nor am I permitting you to drain my energy. And what usually will happen when you put that shield of light up, they'll go away quickly. All of a sudden, they'll be like, I don't really want to talk to you anymore. They're not getting the payoff energetically, and they'll end up leaving you alone.
Yeah.
So you really become like an alchemist of your own energy. Like, you control your energy and you start to learn how to create and own your energy, command your space, and play with energy. And it can be very magical and extremely empowering, right? When
Yeah,
you really kind of get into energy.
it makes the life experience so much more fun and more expansive. You know, you're not so like boxed in and thinking that like you're so one dimensional about things. Like you're a multi-dimensional being. You're capable of
Yes.
transitioning, transmuting, shaping, and moving around energy forms and energies in all sorts of ways. So you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
box yourself in and think that once you're somewhere or you're around someone that like you have to sit through like taking on their energies or the energies of the place. Like you're able to, like you said, put that bubble or pillar around yourself and kind of
Mm-hmm.
put yourself in your own little zone and still
Mm-hmm.
get your good energy, good clean healthy energy while you're still there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's right. Yeah.
so
You can.
something that I can share from my own experience when it has come to the parasitic type of deals is,
Uh-huh.
uh, you know, I've had like friendships and encounters where, um, being the empath I am, I would be the one that would sit through trying to be the one to heal them and help them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And during a lot of those experiences, it left me in position to where I just completely opened my space and left it open. And I started
Yep.
taking on all of their low vibrational energies.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're saying, like them just only thing they even talk about to me is dumping their problems onto me. Like they want to even
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
ask how I was, like have a conversation, want to go do something. And
Yeah.
it's like, all right, well, I know I can go to him and just start venting all these things onto him without even my
Mhm.
consent or asking me if they can do that. And after
Mhm.
a while, when that
Mhm.
just continuously started happening, and I kind of like was giving some nudges that like um, I'm not really all about you being able to just um, put all this negativity onto me. You know, I really
Yeah.
expect that you at least ask first. And then
Mhm. Mhm.
I notice like sometimes there'll be like a weird, offensive kind of reaction.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just like, next thing you know, like the next week, it just continued to happen again. It was like a cycle or pattern. And then
Mhm.
um, I just had to use my strength and courage to just go ahead and create some distance and step back. And
Right.
something I do for affirmations is I release what does not serve in all toxic cords. I say that every
Mhm.
morning 5 times.
Mhm.
And I notice utilizing that technique, um, different uh, relations of sorts kind of just drop off.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's what gets brought to my mind is that like
Mhm.
it's the effect of me doing that and
Absolutely.
naturally feel safe and fine. I don't like question it or feel like there's something wrong. Like I just feel this peace about it and I just keep
Mhm.
going forward. And I mean, the biggest thing really is just having the understanding awareness that we're all interconnected anyway, no matter if we're speaking with each other or seeing each other every weekend,
Mhm.
or not speaking with each other or seeing each other every 3 years. We're still
Mhm.
interconnected as one. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, either way,
Yeah.
we're together. It's not like you stop talking to someone and you're doing something so wrong and you're not connected to them at all. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and then there's one other thing I also want to share going back to uh, the hospital example. Uh,
Oh, right. Yeah.
where
I'm always so, it's funny. I'm always so, yeah. I shouldn't be so I'm cautious about what I say, but yes, the hospital example. Yes.
um, well, you're definitely safe here with what you say.
Right.
Um, so, like, I can think of a few examples where it's like, and this also can kind of tie into that false, fake white light, where
Mhm.
they
Mhm.
they project themselves as a structure, facility, beings, or whatever you'd want to say for an example, but they project themselves as like this savior or they want to provide um, provide safety and healing for people, but
Mhm.
what's going on within those facilities or what's going on within that person when it comes to their own hidden agenda is okay, a hospital, they're giving people pharmaceuticals 24/7, pumping people up with these things. Um,
Mhm.
I, I can't remember who I was speaking with, but I was speaking with somebody about like doctor appointments, for example. Like you go to the doctor sees you for like 5 minutes. They really don't even do anything. They just kind of look at you and then they just give their own analysis and tell you what you have. And then they don't even
Right.
really give a connection, a like empathic connection, like heartfelt connection. They just kind of like,
Mhm.
oh, you have this. Go ahead and move on with your day now. I'm gonna go ahead and prescribe
Mm.
these pills,
Prescribe you some drugs.
like,
Yeah.
and then that's it. So it's
Well,
really
I think. Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like doctors, I mean, I know there are fantastic doctors out there who practice within the confines of the medical structure because that's all, I mean, that's what they know, right? And they do their best, but I know that there's a lot of like, there's a, I mean, I'm in Canada, so we have a different healthcare system than you guys do, but
Oh yeah,
I understand that there are limits to what they can do in because they're subject to the system they work under, right? But
exactly.
what is lacking, I think, in Western medicine is they don't look at the person holistically at all. They don't recognize that your physical body is directly connected to your emotional body, and your emotional body is directly connected to your energy body, and that you are not siloed. It's not like the physical body is separate from any of these things, right? And so they don't treat you as a whole person, and they don't treat you proactively. They treat you reactively. And it's never, why is this happening? What's causing this? What's behind this condition? It's always, how can we mask the symptoms? How can we take away the pain? Or how can we, and the problem with that is that the body went through illness or through discomfort is always trying to speak to you and tell you emotionally. Usually there is something going on. There's congestion, there's dense energy that your body's holding in a certain area energetically, and over time it degrades the physical body, and it will show up in the physical body as disease. And when I talk about disease, I'm not talking about like cancer. I mean, certainly cancer is like it is a disease and it's an aspect, but an emotional state of dis-ease over time will manifest in the physical body as some state of dis-ease, or as we reference it, disease. So the problem is that you go to see a doctor and they're not looking at you as a whole. They're looking at you at a very physical level, right? And yeah, it's just, and pharmaceuticals, I don't want to get into all of that too much, but I mean, they're not designed to heal you. Like, they're designed to mask symptoms, right?
Yeah, it's a
Or
temporary
to
fix.
it's a and what happens is you're ignoring your body's trying to tell you we need help here, and what you're doing is you're masking the symptom, you're ignoring the symptom, you're putting chemicals into your body, and then what's happening, those symptoms can grow into bigger issues, right? Or you become dependent on a chemical to keep you functional. um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
but
can I give an
but
example?
it is an but it's an inverted system, right? Like what you're speaking to is that it is an inverted system. It says we're here to heal you. Your health is our priority, but at the top of that structure, your health is not the priority
Hmm.
at all.
Yeah,
So
something I like
anyway, go on.
to, so a kind of figurative language I like to use as a visualization to describe when it comes to using pharmaceuticals compared to organic and holistic natural remedies is
Mhm.
so when you, so like uh, Nikola Tesla, for example,
Mhm.
is he's famous for using the sentence, you want to learn the secrets of the universe, think of it as energy and vibration. So when you think of our organism, our earth vessel, our earth body, it is in an energy and vibrational standpoint, it resonates at a certain hertz frequency, the same
Mhm.
hertz frequency that the earth resonates with, which, if I'm
Mhm.
correct, it is about 432 or 428 hertz. I can't remember at the moment which one. So
Mhm.
if our organism in its natural harmonic state resonates and vibrates at that hertz frequency, and then we take a compound that is synthetic and artificial, which has a much lower, much denser frequency
Mm-hmm.
and place that into our organism's energy field, that
Yeah.
energy that is being put into our organism's field is then going to mutate it. It's going to become one with it, and it will, over time, process our energy field into going downwards because
Mm-hmm.
of the
Mm-hmm.
frequency of the pill, which
Mm-hmm.
another way I like to,
And it weakens, yeah, and just to add to that, it weakens your energy, your natural auric field. And so it will degrade the strength of your own energy body, your vibration. It will lower you.
yeah,
It'll bring you down.
that's why you see
Um,
so many people get so sick so easy with these like flu seasons and stuff like that. Is because their immune system is broken.
oil of oregano, baby.
Yes, oregano. Well,
Sorry.
so, oh, you're fine. There's one other example I like to use for this is thinking of a bridge. So, a bridge is made out of steel, and then say you need to repair a part of that bridge. Okay, so you're going to use steel compound to repair steel with steel, if I'm
Mm-hmm.
if I believe I'm correct. So you're not going to go grab plastic and try to rebuild the bridge with plastic instead of steel. So it's like,
Right.
think of the human body as the steel in the bridge, and then taking the pharmaceutical as the plastic. That's not
Mm-hmm.
going to repair and bridge back the parts that need to be healed. It's just going to be a
Mm-hmm.
very, very temporary uh, band aid, if it even is going to work as a temporary band aid in the first place.
Hmm. Yeah, I think anytime you're putting inorganic, something that's inorganic, an inorganic compound into the body, there's a consequence to that, right? Um, and I mean, like you do your best, right? Like you do your best. But for me personally, what I find is that whenever I have the option of using something naturally, I mean, even when I get a headache, my instinct, I used to take Advil and all kinds of stuff all the time, like regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's funny, my last instinct would be to do that because it's just masking the pain. I want to heal the pain, right? I want to and I also want to put things that energetically into my body that are going to promote a state of homeostasis, right? They're going to, that are going to prepare, restore and repair the body, that are going to work naturally with the energy and the organic structure of my body and not detract from it, right? So natural, anything plant-based, anything that's derived from the earth, anything natural. And I mean, anything like that, I feel is, for me personally, I do much better with in the long run, and they work. They work just as well, if not better. Like when I feel like if I'm coming down with something, or I'm starting to get like, I feel like a little bit of a cold or something coming on, I take, usually my go-to is oil of oregano usually, and always water with lemon and ginger and stuff. But you'll find the formula that works for you. And what I find is that it never progresses to the full blown flu. I never get, really ill. So, I mean, you have to do your own research though, right? Like it's your responsibility to kind of seek out the information and find practitioners and the right support for you so that you can find these natural supplements and herbs and things that will help you achieve a state of wellness and balance. But if you just go along blindly and you're just taking, painkillers and pharmaceuticals and everything, you're never solving the problem. You're just masking it. And then over time, you think about it like, I don't know, the only analogy that comes to mind, you think about like a dirty pool or something, and you just keep throwing a cover over it because you're like, it smells, I don't want to look at it, right? It's attracting bugs. You keep throwing the cover on, well, right? What's happening underneath that cover, right? It's manifesting, it's festering, it's getting worse, I
Yeah.
think. Um, but I also think your mindset is 100% health wise. If you believe that you're ill and you believe that you're incurable and you believe that your body is broken or is flawed in some way, your body will believe what the mind tells you, what the messaging the mind is sending. So even if you are out of balance or you're feeling unwell, if you continually are telling yourself, I am well, I am strong, my immune system is very strong, my body is capable of healing, I am capable of healing, I am healing, I'm strong, I am vibrant, I am in a state of health, I am in a state of balance. You tell yourself that, the body starts to go, oh yeah, right, we know how to do this, like, and it starts to believe you, the emotional signature there, it starts to believe it and it starts to restore itself. If you're constantly going around thinking about, all my body's flawed, I have this, issue, and it's never going to get fixed, and I'm just going to get sicker and sicker, and I need this medication, and you get into a very kind of fear-based or a lack mentality where you don't trust that your body has the ability to heal itself,
Hmm.
and you're giving it negative messaging all the time, it's going to respond that way, right? So I mean, there's a lot to be said about the power of the mind and where you emotionally are, because that can really, I mean, that's going to lend to health. It's going to help your body heal. When you're thinking that you're really ill and you're sick and you can't get better, or you're never going to improve and this is the best it's going to get, your body hears that and goes, oh, okay, because to your body, I always say this, to your body, your thoughts, your emotion, your mind, and what the mind is telling your body on, and every cell in the body is listening. It is like God is speaking to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the mind to the body is like the parent or the God. And so when the mind is telling it negative things, it believes it. It believes it. And the emotions will support that, right? Because the emotions will then support the thought.
Hmm.
And so the body believes it. You're telling your body that you're sick, your body will be sick. If you tell your body that you're strong, that you're healing, that you're healed, that your immune system is strong, your body is capable of regenerating itself, guess what? The body will respond in a positive way. 100%. 100%. And you need to empower. I feel like, it's just about believing that you are empowered, and that you are whole,
Hmm.
right? And that
Yeah,
you
the body is an
can,
organism.
and it is like, I mean, it knows exactly what to do. It knows exactly what to do. It's incredibly resilient. I mean, when you think about resiliency, just with humanity and your body and your emotions and all of those things, how powerful you are, how powerful humans are. It's like, if we weren't so powerful, they wouldn't have to go to such great lengths to try and suppress that. They have to do everything to try and keep people at a low vibrational state. They got to do chemtrails. They got to do pharmaceutical drugs. They've got to do GMOs in the food. They got to broadcast low energetic frequencies everywhere, coming through, your television and appliances and your cell phones and your smart TVs, and they're all broadcasting these frequencies, that EMFs, that are designed to degrade and lower your vibration. But if humans weren't so powerful, they wouldn't have to do all of this all the time. Do you know what I mean? And if people would just really understand how truly powerful they are, once they command that, once they say, I am sovereign, I am um, I am very powerful, and I'm going to harness that. Um, like, it's just like they got to go to such great lengths because people are extremely resilient and extremely powerful. It's just that we've been conditioned to believe that we are helpless, or that we cannot, or that it's not even an option. We're never taught about energy. We're not taught about all of these things that would empower us, right? And so unfortunately, you got to kind of come into that on your own. You got to do research. You got to kind of take control of that. But I think a lot of the light bulbs are going on all over the world, and people are starting to wake up to their divinity and to their power, and that there is no separation. There is no separation from you and everyone else. We're all interconnected. We are all one. There's that unity. And not only that, that we are connected to, there is no disconnection from source. We are fully connected to source at all times, and we have high dimensional support around us all of the time. It's whether or not we choose to tap into that, and we choose to, I guess, believe that or feel that, or we don't, right? And that comes in I think, various stages of where you are consciously, right?
Yeah.
And when you consciously start to open up to all of this stuff, then you realize how powerful you are, and that you are an infinite kind of creator, and that you are divinity incarnate, in a physical body, but you are the divine. And then the world can become very magical, and you have the ability to become an alchemist, where you begin to create your reality. You begin to create the energy, and you begin to emit a certain energetic frequency that uplifts others, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like we're talking about all of these things, but they all tie in, you know, to just knowing how powerful you are.
Yeah. So, um, a pretty big thing uh, that I've been paying attention to, and for years now, actually, and developing a deeper awareness of, is kind of this manipulation and uh, hijacking, so you could say, of like our sacred energy and
Mm-hmm.
practices, as well as always along with movements.
Mm-hmm.
There's these movements that are trying to use our sacred principles and the
Oh,
whole
we're going for it tonight.
the whole
Sorry, go on.
whole love and good vibes thing, but
Mm,
there's like, inside of these groups and uh, different organizations, there's these reverted things going on that are
mm-hmm.
not actually aligned with the pure harmonic energy. And
Right.
it becomes kind of hard if you're not conscious of your inner self and being able to intuitively discern what you're getting yourself into,
Mm-hmm.
because there are a lot of places out there, or other beings, that will disguise their self as having good intentions, but
Right.
energetically you can feel that that is
Indeed.
not truly what they're doing. And
Right.
when you're like creating businesses or getting involved in companies, or sharing practices with people, even, or going to see
Mm-hmm.
someone that would be like a shamanic figure or guru figure,
Mm-hmm.
that are portraying
Mm-hmm.
themselves as the true
Mm-hmm.
purity and light. But some red flags for me is people that are portraying themselves as those kind of figures, but are only giving you enough knowledge and information to where you have to keep coming back to them in order
Mm-hmm.
to learn more, instead of
Mm-hmm.
teaching
Empowering.
you, yeah, instead of
Mm-hmm.
teaching you how to, when you go home by yourself, be able to do these things for your own self, and
Yeah.
be able to
Yeah.
develop that self-awareness inside yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. There is definitely a what I call a new age hijack that's happened. And you know, again, it goes back to that inverted system thing. It's like what someone says they are and what they really are the actual opposites. And if you cannot discern the energy, so that's the way you can bypass, you can perceive the energetic signature. So someone might be telling you all these wonderful things, you know, that I'm here to help you, that, you know, I connect into the angelic realm and all of these things, which is, that's great. But if it doesn't feel right to you, if it doesn't resonate with you, and what's the motivation? You have to always ask yourself, what's the motivation here? You know, like, um, like you said, is this very fear-based? Because there are healers out there or practitioners, I mean, like in every industry, that will prey upon your vulnerabilities or what they perceive as your weaknesses. If they think that you are fearful of certain things, then they may tell you that, oh, you have dark energy around you, and you know you're gonna have to come and do this like clearing with me, and you know I'm gonna release this dark energy. But then they're never gonna teach you how you can do that for yourself. They're going to give you the techniques or empower you to know that this is an experience, you're learning from this, even though it's, you know, it can be a little scary and daunting. It is absolutely a gift because it's strengthening you. You're going to learn from it and they're going to help you through the process. But the end goal is to get you to a place where you can manage this your stuff yourself, right? You can learn, you can be empowered. And I think that the New Age movement, because it attracts such heart-centered people who are on the ascension path, who are raising their consciousness, who are raising their frequency, who are here to assist and are very service to others oriented, they're going to gravitate towards certain modalities and certain movements and certain ideologies. And these groups, what they'll do is they'll give you 85% of the truth. So there's a resonance and you're like, yeah, I can get on board with that. Like that information feels right to me. But then 10% of it or 15% of it is absolute, designed to trick you, to confuse you, to put you on kind of another path, to get you hooked into this whole guru kind of ideology where you are your own guru. You shouldn't, there's no hierarchy either. You shouldn't ever feel like you have to kneel down to anything, that anything is higher than you. And so there's a lot of that going on right now. And I think that if you don't have the discernment, and you're dabbling in all of this stuff, but you haven't really developed that core kind of knowing who you are, you haven't gone through a lot of your pain body, if you haven't released a lot of the triggers and the traumas that are kind of keeping you in certain low vibrational spaces, ideologies of feeling like a victim, of blaming other people, not taking accountability for your own self, your own choices, the direction that your life is in, and not looking as even things that we would call negative experiences, not looking to see the gift in it and what you're learning and how it is going to strengthen you, and all of those things. If you're constantly feeling like powerless and like a victim and like they did that to me or that's their fault or blaming your parents or whatever, and you're on this spiritual path but you're not fully committed to doing the inner work, and I would say to you that your discernment could be lacking. And these groups, these new age hijack groups will prey on that vulnerability. And like I said, they'll come out and they'll say that they are one thing, but in fact they are absolutely, it's what it is controlled opposition. um, and so what it is that they see this movement coming, they see all of these people awakening, whatever you resonate with, starseed or light worker or whatever. They see these people hungry for knowledge, hungry to evolve, hungry to raise their consciousness, hungry to be of service to humanity. And they see you coming, and they know that they know that this was going to happen. So they wanted to get in front of it, right? So what's the best way to do it? Well, let's pretend we are that thing, and let's then go in and invert that system, and let's kind of give people just enough knowledge so that they feel like they can trust this movement, or they resonate with it. And then we're going to give them a whole bunch of bullshit, to confuse them, to keep them trapped in certain paradigms, certain programs. And you know it's something I didn't fully understand the scope of, until I attended in the summer, I attended a conference that was one of these kind of new age conferences. I'm not gonna get into the names and everything, but I went to this conference and the energy was so dense. And I just kept thinking, like, something's really wrong here. And I didn't understand what was happening. Um, and these were people that I really admired and I looked up to, but when I was face to face with them, the energy was telling me something very different. And I actually got physically ill, which, anyway, because I am very sensitive to energy. And it was an experience for me that was very disillusioning, but at the end of the day, I see that it was showing me something. And I'm fortunate that I built enough discernment to really just feel the difference. It's not what you think, it's what you feel. You've got to drop into the heart center. You got to trust your intuition, and you've got to start to really get into, forget what I think. How does this feel? Because people can, on paper, everything can look perfectly good. They're telling you all the right things, they're saying the right things, but if it doesn't feel right to you and it doesn't resonate with you, then I would say to you, step away. And you don't even always have to know why. Like, what is it about them that doesn't resonate with me, or what is it that they're saying that's not, I don't get why I don't. It doesn't matter. You don't need to always know why. You just need to know it's not in alignment with you for whatever reason, and it means there's something that is in alignment for you, and just keep moving. Don't get caught in it, and don't give your consent to it, right? But it's just about trusting your feelings, I think, and that's all discernment is. But if you're really kind of confused, or you're not strong in yourself, you don't have a level of self-acceptance or self-love, you've got a lot of emotional past trauma still running you and triggering you, your ability to perceive energy will be skewed, or will be through a distorted lens of pain or of anger, of resentment or something, and it may be harder for you to discern energy signatures. Does that make sense? Like, like your perception will be looking through a lens of a low vibration, which could be pain. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, or that there's anything wrong with experiencing that. What I'm saying is that be mindful of that, um, and ask yourself, where am I emotionally? What's triggering me? And really spend time examining that, and take accountability for your own emotional stuff, your own density. Because when you are living in a lot of still unresolved pain, and there's a lot of density in your field, you can lack the ability to discern. You can lack the ability to perceive energy for what it is, and not what you wish for it to be. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and those lingering energies can kind of like leak out into the chords of your relationships, or can become mental projections over top of what's truly being said
Mm-hmm.
or done for you by the other person, and
Mm-hmm.
or just the information in general. um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just also, one other thing, you're talking about relationships. One other thing I've just felt like called to talk about quickly is the energetic exchange that happens when you're sexually intimate with somebody. So just something to also be mindful of is that when you engage in like an intimate like relationship where there's the physical component to it, um, you actually are merging energetically with that person. And so if you're with a part, who are you sleeping with, know who you're opening up that sacred space to, because what happens is you open yourself up during the act, which should always be one of, I mean, when you really connect and care for your partner. But if you're just having sex with random people and you're thinking it's a very physical thing, just know that when you're intimate with somebody, you're opening up your energy body, you're merging your energy body with their body. And what can happen, particularly for women, is you're taking in all of their energy. And if that person is out of alignment with you, or has a lot of pain and trauma, or is in a low vibrational emotional state, you're going to take in all that energy, and it's going to sit in your sacral, and it's going to lower you, it's going to drag you down. You can also take on energetic parasites, all kinds of things. So I always, if you don't love or deeply care for the person, I would say don't engage in sex with them, because why would you want to open yourself up to all that? And even when you do sometimes, really care for the person, be aware of their energetic state, and just be aware of that do I want to take on all of this energy? Because I'm going to, right? Um, Sex is sacred. Not to be like sound like a prude or anything, but sex is a sacred act, and it should be treated as that, I think.
Yeah.
You're going to merge with someone energetically. You want to know who are you merging with, you know,
Yeah.
right?
Um, yeah, exactly. And I know for a lot of us, we can kind of reflect and we can see where we've had these sexual encounters, and there's been times where we feel more energized and more in like
Mm-hmm.
a euphoric, like actual
Yeah.
pure love
You
state.
get that
Or,
glow. Well, you get that glow. You can get that glow, right? Like you
yeah,
just, yeah.
feel like life is everything, you know? And then
Mm-hmm.
there's times where, like, directly after or even in the middle of it, like, you feel drained or you
Tired.
feel
Mm-hmm.
extremely tired or you start like questioning things automatically. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, being aware of the energy of the other and understanding, what they're still carrying from past relationships. Like, if you can
Mm-hmm.
recognize when you're communicating with them, are they still on other partners? Like, are they still talking about their other partners to where it's like extremely affecting them or
Mm-hmm.
wanting to go back to them? Because a lot of times, if
Mm-hmm.
that is the case, they're still carrying a lot of that sexual energy as well, along with that negativity of,
Mm-hmm.
not being able to let go and still having those cords attached. And with
Mm-hmm.
cords, I mean, there's so much that goes into chords. Um, and
Energetic cords. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
who knows how much someone's genuinely going to share with you about their last relationship. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably rare that you actually come across a partner that's going to actually like tell you all of the toxic and negative things that did happen in the relationship still being carried
Right.
forward.
Right. But again, that comes back to discernment, right? So once you really start to trust your intuition, and you really trust energy, and you can perceive energy accurately, even if a person is telling you X, Y, and Z, you'll be able to go, yeah, that's not quite right. There's something here. I feel like there's more to this, or I feel, and then you're able to make a decision based on the feeling, on the energy behind it. And so people can tell you all the things, but if they don't resonate with you energetically, and you get that kind of like intuitive going, I just doesn't, something doesn't feel right to me, honoring that will keep you out of, I think will keep you out of harm's way. When you honor that, when you trust that, because that's your divine self speaking to you, right? That's the divine aspect of you speaking to you. That's your heart speaking to you. And your heart never lies. The mind, it can tell a lot of stories, right? Because it's susceptible to a lot of conditioning that come from the environment, come from, you know, our parents' trauma, all of that things we can be conditioned mentally, but the heart knows the truth. And so when you can really lead your life through your heart, I don't know, I feel like you come through that with the heart intention, you follow and trust your heart, that guidance center, you're going to be okay. That's what I feel, right? And
Absolutely.
that's where the discernment piece comes in. And you'll see these people in the new age community who are masquerading as something and are absolutely the opposite thing, and something will just you'll just go, that doesn't resonate, there's something off here, and you'll just know that this is not your path. This is maybe not the practice you want to be following, or the movement you want to be involved with, and because you'll feel it. And when you are in alignment with people, you will feel it like that. They will uplift you. You will always feel energized when you speak, or when you're in connection with someone who is in alignment with you. And when you are out of alignment with somebody, you will feel a drain, you'll feel tired, you feel irritable. Like I mean, you can start to really, once you start to really understand you're an alchemist, that you own your energy, and that you can control your energy and your vibration. And once you really believe that and start putting it to the test, then you're able to really discern for yourself and trust that. And I think that is crucial right now for people to really get into the heart center, and that will help you discern. Um, because the heart doesn't lie. It just doesn't. It's you know, it's not
That's
capable
center of
of
all.
that.
It's the center
Right?
of all.
So, right.
Um,
Yeah.
so there is something I want to share, a like personal experience of just my story and what I'm also going through now is, um, so you become more aware of the system, the matrix, and the different things that are in place, such as the legal system. And
Hmm.
when you become more aware, you kind of understand the agenda behind the legal system. And some of us, we may get involved in things that can land us in alignment with getting put into the legal system. Um, so I know for myself, for example, I'm on probation, and um, as I continued on, well, I got on probation before I really started waking up to my spiritual self and becoming aware of um, my soul and stuff like that. Um, so as I continued on, I became more aware of system structures and the kind of energy behind them and the way that they're set up. Um, and before, the mentality I kind of had was the whole kind of resisting it while I was already still in the system, and that caused a lot of conflicts for my own self because it put me in this spot where um, I started thinking like, well, spiritually, I know there's nothing wrong with smoking weed, so I'm gonna smoke weed. Like, there's nothing wrong with that and stuff. So I kind of fell into wrongful thinking in the wrong time, and I started smoking, and I failed drug tests, and I ended up having to go do time in prison actually. Um, so when I got out, I I was honestly blessed that whole experience, and I kind of turned it into a a positive for me because I utilized that time as time in solitude, basically, to help look
Hmm.
within myself, look at myself, and look at what needed to be changed so I could grow. And that takes the power away from these systems and these energies
Hmm.
when you can take from that system that you have to experience and utilize it to your own strength. And it
Yeah.
basically is transmuting it so
Hmm.
then it's not conflicting and draining you. So
Right.
like now how I go about things is like when I go see my probation officer and stuff, I view it all as it is helping me build structure in my life. It is helping build discipline in my life. It is helping me
Mm,
realize and see that I don't need substances like weed and that all I need is just myself, energy, and the infinite supply of light that we all are and have.
mm-hmm,
And um, it's been a major change. And not only has it changed me personally, but it's changed my relationship with the probation officer, my my probation, my relationship with the judge as well. Um,
mm-hmm,
Even when I had to go see the judge again last time, you know, he, yes, I was smoking and stuff, and according to law, like he kind of did need to send me back, but there was there was some kind of light, like God source. Um, it was working through him due to the
mm-hmm.
work that I've done myself and the light that I've been able to open up here.
Do
And
you think though, sorry, sorry, I was just going to ask, do you think though a big part of that was that you stopped blaming everything and everybody else and you started to take accountability for your actions and to use them as catalysts for positive change, and then you weren't creating that resistance, that energy of resisting and of anger, and you just opened up and surrendered, and you said, this is the experience. I may not love the experience, but it is in front of me. There's something of value here. There's something I need to learn. I'm going to take responsibility, and I'm going to um, look for the positive, look for the gift in it, even though I'm not loving it. Like it's not, it's not like a trip to Hawaii here, but do you think that that really was the big catalyst for change for you? And then as your vibration changes, other people will react in a much more positive way around you because you're not defensive, because you're not bitter, because you're not projecting that negative or low vibrational energy outward. And then people naturally come to you with more, I guess, compassion and more wanting to support you. Do you think?
oh
It all came you internally, like you did that, right?
yeah, absolutely, 100%. I definitely have to say that those are the things that contributed to it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Because I feel like you owned it, right? You owned it for what it is and said,
yeah.
okay.
Before it used to be like kind of like the victim mentality, like oh they're out to get me, like all these other things, and
Mm-hmm.
what that just was denial, and it was not accepting what is and where I was,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
acceptance is like it's just so huge in life. If you cannot accept
Mm-hmm.
what is when it comes to your reality, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to build resistance, and it's going to build up, and it's going to like manifest in certain ways to make you go through
Yeah.
experiences so you can accept it. So
Mm-hmm.
something that I've had to learn and I try to like show to others is that you just need to accept what is, accept what happened in the past so you can come to terms with it and allow that energy to go back to flowing freely in this present moment. So then you can
Mm-hmm.
move forward and start beginning to create a better future. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and responsibility as well is a big thing with that. When you become
Mm-hmm.
responsible and take responsibility for your reality and what you have manifested for your life, um,
Mm-hmm.
it takes the power back to you.
Yeah, because when you can take accountability or responsibility for what you've created, then you understand that you are the creator of your reality. So if you don't like what you've created, then you know that you have the ability to create something different, right?
Yeah,
Like that you're not helpless to, just whatever is given to you, you have to accept that. When you realize that you create your reality, then you realize that you can create what you'd like. But it all starts with your vibration, and your energy body is fueled by your emotional body. So if you're in a low vibrational state where you feel unworthy, or you feel, resentment, or all these complex negative emotions, it's hard to create, love and abundance in your life if you're coming from a place of fear, of anger, of resentment, of lack. And what you have to do is you have to get yourself into the vibrational space. If I say, people say, well, I want love, I want to attract love in my life, then you must love yourself. You must be love. And then you will attract that. You will bring that in. And, it can even be as small as, I just accepting myself. I may not be ready to love every aspect, but I am willing to accept myself and not beat myself up, and not, you know, um, compare myself to others. Like, I'm willing to accept that this is who I am, and I'm going to look at the positive attributes I have, and I'm really going to focus on those. And then you attract the mirror to that. So someone who will see you in those eyes and really love you. But you first have to be committed to self-love, or even just self-acceptance, I think is key, right?
Yeah, and
Because
also,
whatever you want to attract, you have to be.
and then also, just accepting fully that this is where you are. Like, these are the things that I need to work on. These are the defects that I do have, but
Yeah.
accept it, and then go on with starting to think about solutions for it.
Mhm.
All right, so this is
Mhm.
where I'm at. Um, what do I have to work with to be able to do better? What do I have
Right.
to my abilities to be able to um, change to where I want to be? And
Mhm.
it's always a process, of course, and life is a
Mhm.
continuous process forevermore.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
accepting where you are right in this present moment is just the biggest thing. You can't live in the past, because when we live in the past, it keeps our energy in places that um, don't even currently exist.
Yeah.
And
It drags you. It siphons your energy. Yeah.
then when we think too far into the future, it then puts us into literally just thoughts, and that's it. Instead of
Mhm.
working in this present moment and creating the space, clearing, manifesting, anchoring, and doing the things that we need to do now in order for
Mhm.
that future to materialize.
Mhm. Yeah, I think yeah, when you can't create a new future if you're living in the past. And because when we live in the past, it's usually we're living in past experiences of negative experiences usually, and then we're looking through a lens of pain, and so then we're creating our future based on the past. So then we're creating a predictable future based on the past, and we're not then free to create something new, because we're still living in a space of whatever the past gave us is what I'm going to recreate, right? um, and if your thoughts, like if you're thinking the way you've always thought, and you're trying to create something new in your life, but your thoughts and emotions are not changing, it's hard to create something new when you're coming from an old space. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're just going to keep getting what you think, you keep thinking the same things, you're going to get what you always got, right? And it's about coming into the present moment, and just even acceptance of, this is where I am. I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to live here, but here's where I am right now. And what do I need to do in this very moment to change my emotions, to change my frequency, to really be in the present moment and really look for the gratitude I always say gratitude is the great, it's the great neutralizer. It's the great alchemizer. If you're having a bad day or in a negative space, or you're feeling really low or upset or down, um, and emotions, I always say too, it's the word emotions is energy in motion, meaning that we're meant to experience what we call negative emotions. And the key is to really feel the emotion and let it, really feel it, and don't be afraid to feel bad. Let the emotion sit in it. Like, you might be upset, you might have lost a loved one, or you may have lost a relationship, and you're going to go through a grieving process. So don't mask it. Don't try and drink it away, or go out and have sex with someone new and try and like mask all the pain. What you got to do is you got to allow yourself, you have the compassion for yourself to say, this really hurts me. I feel this deeply. Allow yourself, though, to sit in that feeling, and don't try and hide and run from the feeling, because that's the only way you can release it. And then once you've processed it and you've released it, you're free from it. You're not carrying it like a weight in your energy body.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't become like a stagnant energy. And I feel like we've been conditioned to be afraid of feeling bad, but it's not a permanent state. We're afraid if we feel depressed, or if we feel a lot of grief or sadness or emptiness, that somehow we're going to get trapped in that emotion. We're never going to be able to free ourselves from it. But when we try and run from it and suppress it, it gets trapped in our energy body, and it will sit there stagnant, and what it does is it drags your energy down. It's like a weight. It's like an energetic emotional weight. And then over time, it can start to, that emotional disease can start to manifest in physical disease over time.
Yeah.
And I feel like being afraid to feel bad is like, we're here to experience all ranges of emotions, good, bad, highs, low. It's all learning. It's all part of the experience. So if you're always afraid to feel bad and you're running from those feelings, you're never going to be free. You're never going to be free. You're never going to be able to then own your energy and really create your future, because you're always going to be pushing negative feelings or low feelings down. Because, I mean, you're going to experience ranges of emotions, right? Like, you can't prevent that, right? But if you're afraid of them, and you have to also remember that your emotional state does not define you. It's just an experience you're having. So if you feel depressed, it does not mean that you are depressed. It means you feel depressed. It doesn't mean that you're going to be relegated to,
Or not it.
someone who's depressed. No, it means you're feeling depressed. But so
And
what? Great. Experience that.
there's something to learn from it, and it's also helping you um, recognize and see where you are in your self-awareness. And then
Right.
the biggest thing is just being able to accept it and not attaching to it.
Hmm.
Um, so,
Right.
and then something I want to add also about if you do find yourself living in the past, because I mean it's almost an everyday thing that we can easily go back to living in the past. Um, Something that helps me is just bringing my conscious awareness to, okay, I am thinking in the past, like I'm being brought to the past. So maybe there's something that I'm supposed to take from this and I'm supposed to learn.
Yeah.
So I look for what I'm supposed to learn or what I'm supposed to take from that past experience. But then I just take that and I bring it to the present and just let go of the rest.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I think, yeah, I think that also another thing is too, if you find yourself focused, like you said, on the past, ask the questions like, okay, what's here? What is here? What is drawing me back to this? What do I need to look at? what do I need to maybe release? What do I need to maybe examine or really feel? What feelings maybe I suppressed? But don't beat yourself up for it either. Like, don't think, oh gosh, I'm reverting, I'm backsliding, I'm stuck in the past. No, look at it. I always say, look at it as an opportunity for growth. Never judge yourself, never beat yourself up for how you feel. But it doesn't mean that you are powerless to live in that space, right? Like, you got to look at it as an experience. It's a temporary experience, but you're never trapped in that space. It's just an invitation for you to heal and release, right? So you can move forward later without the density of that experience holding you back.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Right. Yes. Well, there's nothing to fear. I just think that emotion is a gift, and it's where we create from. It's our source of creation.
So much power in it.
The it's so, yeah, and we should never fear or judge any feeling. It doesn't mean that we have to give in to the feeling. Like, we can be really angry. Doesn't mean that we have to give in to the anger. Doesn't mean that we have to react out violently, but we are allowed to feel angry and to honor that, but to know that that doesn't give you the right to hurt someone else or to take it out on someone else, even yourself, you know.
Hmm.
I think we're always about judging. Oh, this is good, this is a good emotion, this is a bad emotion, I don't I this is a bad emotion, I don't want to feel it. No, it's not good, it's not bad, it just is.
Yeah,
And love yourself, have compassion for yourself, and allow yourself to feel what you feel, but don't let it make you react. Don't make it don't make it charge you to the point that you are making decisions reacting to negatively, right? Like, you got to own it.
yeah. So like an experience I had just uh, yesterday actually at work. Um, First time I've gotten pretty angry in a while. Um, I got pretty angry at myself yesterday because um, there was a lady that had ordered something, and um, we have this hot and ready thing that we do at the pizza place I work at.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two of these flatbreads, or there was one flatbread. She ordered three, so I had to put two into the oven. And then she like went out the door to go wait, um, and I kind of just like lost track of it. And somebody else came in after that, and they ordered flatbread, so I gave away that one flatbread that was on top of the oven. So then there was only two in the oven, and then the one on top was gone for that one lady that was going to come back. She ordered three.
Mm-hmm.
So then the two came out, and the one on top was gone because like I had been thinking, okay, there's three right there. And then she comes back in, and the two come out, and I get mad at myself because I'm like, I put those two in and left the one on top on purpose so there would be three for it. And then I sold
Mm-hmm.
that one on top to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then she comes back in, and I have to tell her that she has to wait for another one. So I kind of just like, I got pretty upset with myself, and I felt like a build of energy within me. And
Mm-hmm.
instead of me taking it as uh, a negative, really, I just felt
Mm-hmm.
that build of energy, and I went in the back and I continued doing the dishes, and I just like put that energy into doing the dishes and getting those done. And I ended up like getting the dishes done quicker and everything. And then
Mm-hmm.
I got back
Mm-hmm.
over the other flatbread and just told her that you're sorry for the wait and whatever. And she's like, "Oh, it's fine. I'm like, it's perfectly all right." So then,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just being able to turn that energy into just energy, period, instead of it being negative, and then putting it into something
Right.
useful. And then,
Channeling it.
yeah,
Yeah.
then kind of just apologizing to the person for whatever you got angry about, and then she was perfectly fine about it, and that just like gave clarification that like everything was all right, you know.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, see, and that's you mastering it, not running from the emotion, but saying, okay, this is how I feel. And you can harness it in a productive way. So you use the anger to fuel your, doing the dishes. Great. But you didn't let it run you, right? You released it.
Exactly.
So, and I mean, but I don't think we should ever, and I think to think that we have to, as if you're spiritual, if you think that you have to live in this perpetual state of love and light and bliss all of the time, and that that if you feel something negative or what you would call like low or bad, that you're somehow not spiritual, I would say to you that that is actually when we try and escape, it's escapism when you want to live in this love and light, this bubble all the time, because it's not reality, because we are living in a dualistic reality where we have different aspects. We have high and we have low. And if we're going to be here, we have to be
Present.
willing to experience all aspects and to not hide and run from them. So when people, I've heard people who are in this spiritual community say things like, well, I don't want to talk about that, or I don't want to look at that because that's going to lower my vibration because that's negative and that's going to bring me down. And I'm like, what? Well, no, that's you trying to escape from something that you don't want to look at, that you deem unpleasant, or that you're not prepared to look at. And I think there's a lot of that, or judging other people, like saying, oh, well, they brought that on themselves. They're in a low vibrational state, so they deserve that. Okay, but where's the compassion there? And that's judgment. And so you just want to disassociate with them because they may, be struggling with something. No, no. I find that to be really, it's a really odd to me when I hear that kind of stuff in the spiritual community, because I'm like, that is not heart-centered at all. I mean, just to not be able to hold compassion for someone who's struggling, but to judge them as a low vibration, oh, they're in a low vibrational state, like it's all their fault, like just the judgment piece that comes through. I don't want to be associated with that. They're negative. Like I remember when I first started studying energy work, um, I had questions about, negative or low energy, dark energy. And the woman who was teaching me, she was a lovely woman. But as soon as I asked the question, she was like, oh, we don't talk about that here. If we talk about it, we'll attract it. And I'm like, that's weird because like it's there. I mean, it's like the elephant in the room, right? But it's like, oh no, let's not look at that because then we'll attract it. Well, it is there whether you like it or not. So why would we not talk about it? I think an acknowledgement and knowledge and understanding these things, these darker aspects, don't necessarily make you dark, but they do give you knowledge, which will give you power, which will allow you to discern more and to not fear and run from certain aspects, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that if you're trying to run from darkness and you don't want to look at it or face it or see it, whether it's in yourself or someone else, or in a movement, or it's out there in the world in general, but you don't want to look at it and you don't want to witness it or see it, then I would say that you're trying to escape. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't have to let it drag you down, but I think you have to have awareness. We are we are living in duality. And it is not good, bad. It is, you know?
And
There was something that you posted on, I think, Instagram, and we talked about this, but I loved that analogy where you said that you must be aware of quote unquote evil or darkness, but you do not have to allow it to flourish. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah, I love that because it's so true. It's like, yeah, it's out there and we see it. I see it. I see it. I recognize it, but it ends with me because I'm not going to allow that. I'm not going to allow that to flourish. I'm not going to give my consent into that. I'm not going to give my energy, to give my power to that. I'm not going to give my money to certain organizations because I because I recognize the agenda behind them, and you know, but to be aware of it, I think is, you have to be aware of these things.
Yeah.
I
Believe
think,
it or not, that
yeah.
that quote came from Star Wars.
Did it really? Of course. Yeah.
There's a lot of wisdom in
Yeah,
that
of
one.
course. Yeah, I saw, actually, it's funny. I'd never, you know what, I'd never seen the Star Wars movies until after Christmas. I saw the new one that's out, and I was watching it and I was like, wow, there's a lot
About the messages.
of yeah, there's a lot of messages in here. I was like, wow. Um, yeah, it was fascinating. There was a lot of stuff coming up in Star Wars, and I thought, wow, this is like, yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know what the right word would be, but I didn't, it wasn't lost on me, right? Like there's a
Yeah.
lot.
And so to go off of what you were just saying, you know, a lot of times when it comes to not wanting to like uh, talk about and look at darkness and stuff, all it is really just running from aspects of their own self or out of
Mhm.
self, I
Mhm.
should say.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it takes away from you know, being in that God perspective of being a whole being, because when you're whole,
Mhm.
you're all you contain all of these aspects. But
Yeah.
when it comes to
Well,
like,
you're not afraid of aspects either, I feel. Like
yeah,
that's the key. Like you're not afraid to look at things and witness them and see them for what they are, because you know that, I don't know, because you have a wholeness, and you know that that is not not a reflection of you. Do you know what I mean? And that this is an opportunity for you to witness this for some reason. Either it's
it doesn't have
because you
power.
can help to do something about it. No, it has no power over you anymore, and you realize that. But you also are aware of it, and you're not going to run or ignore it either. And maybe, you know, there's something in there that you need to see, so maybe you can positively affect change in a better way. Do you know what I mean? Or sometimes it shows us what we don't wish to be.
Hmm. And also, you know, when it comes to being in the external reality and the world and matrices that we exist in, um, you know, these aspects are taking place within the experiences in life. So
Mm-hmm.
when you're able to understand that, and um, you just realize that darkness and stuff like that is nothing more than a part of your own self and your own energy and power, that gives you the ability to be able to bring that darkness back to light, and also
Yes.
gives you the awareness of the power of change, because you accept it and you see where it is. So now you're able to
Mm-hmm.
change and bring change
You
to the
can
world.
transmute it. You can look at darkness for what it is, and then you can recognize that you can transmute that into light. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like someone can treat you horribly, um, like be really unkind to you, but that you understand that that doesn't give you license to take that out, or to mirror that behavior, yet you see it as an opportunity to rise above that, and to be light, to hold yourself in neutral. And so you wouldn't then lash out at the person, but you see that the person's pain body or something has happened to that person to make them react in this way, and you can rise above it, and you don't internalize it, you don't take it personally, you
Hmm.
don't let it affect you, because you see, and you can look at people with a level of compassion or empathy. It doesn't mean that you have to invite them into your life, it doesn't mean you have to tolerate toxic behavior, or you have to be abused in any way, but you can see it for what it is. And then you know that it's pain, and that you know that it's got nothing to do with you, and it doesn't, you don't allow it to drag you down, you don't allow it to affect you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you emanate a compassion or a calmness, or you know, and you don't act abusively or aggressively with the person. It doesn't mean you have to stay there and sit there in the situation, but you choose your reaction based on love and compassion, right? And so you don't lash out. And because when you lash out, then you feed that energy, you justify that person, that pain in that person, and they're like, see, you know, like it just, but when you show them kindness or compassion, or just even like neutral witnessing, where you're not reacting in a negative way, you may not react at all, but you're just not giving into it. I think that can affect them in a positive way. When people are kind to you, it uplifts you. And if you're being awful or you're like lashing out at someone and they come back at you with kindness, I think you're saying, this stops with me. Like, I will not allow this energy to dictate the way I treat other people. I am not going to, it's stopping here. I am going to transmit this negative or dark energy that's coming at me, and I'm going to transmit it into light, because I'm going to stop the cycle with me right now. Right?
Powerful.
So it sounds very like, I don't know. I think sometimes people hear this stuff and they think, oh, it's very like hippy dippy, or, you know, but it is energy. And when you realize that you're an alchemist, right? It's not like this like far out kind of, I don't know. Um, it's just is. It is the way that reality is governed. Everything's governed by energy, and you get to choose, where do you want to live, right?
The sacredness of life. It's the
Right.
ancient order of life, and it's just the truth, the wholeness of
Hmm.
truth, and
And you
yeah,
and we're blessed with free will. We have free will, so we are allowed to experience and to be whatever we choose to be. Um, you know, so there's that too, right? People say, why are all these things happening in the world, and you know, it's terrible, and the world is a terrible place, and blah blah blah, and you know, how is this allowed to continue? And I always, you know, say, it's like, well, we have free will. If it is flourishing, this darkness is flourishing, it's because we are giving our consent to it to flourish.
exactly. We gotta be the one.
We're allowing it. If we want to close our eyes to it, we don't want to see things for what they are, we don't want to take accountability, we don't want to do the research, we want to just listen blindly to what the media tells us about everything, even when it doesn't resonate with us, and we want to just follow along this prescribed ideology of what we've been taught, without really feeling our way through it, and not honoring our intuition, and not taking the time to do our own research. I mean, it's out there in plain sight. I mean, it's put right in front of you. It's whether or not you choose to see it or you don't. And that's why, you know, it's put there in front of your face. But if you don't want to acknowledge it and you don't want to see it, then you're choosing that, right? Like, you're choosing to allow it to continue.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I think we're hitting about
Have to.
2 hours.
Yeah, we're getting to the end here. Yeah. You
So,
may have to splice this up, right?
uh,
Hmm.
no, actually, it's pretty nifty. I just download all of it together and just boom, just like that.
Just put it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so is there any like last comments that you'd like to share?
I don't know. I just want people to know how powerful they are, and that they are in no way a victim to anything, and that you have the ability to change your reality based on your emotions, based on your beliefs about yourself. If you believe you're limited, then you will be limited. And I just want people to be uplifted. I want that people to know that emotions are temporary. Never feel bad about feeling bad, and never feel like you're stuck to that state. And also to just know that the worst thing I think you can do is judge yourself. Be kind to yourself. If you can extend kindness to yourself, then you will naturally be able to extend kindness to others. And then they will naturally be able to extend kindness to others. And that's the way we're going to change. We're going to change this reality, and we're going to get it back to where it needs to be. Right?
Yeah. This has been a therapeutic session, I have to say.
Has it? Oh, good. Good. It's just, I love talking. I love talking to you because I feel like it's so uplifting, right? And I think that, like I said, when you're with someone you're in alignment with and you're both coming from the heart, it's a very uplifting, energizing experience. And when you're with somebody who maybe is not coming from that space, it would be a very draining experience. So that's a good way to tell where things are sitting.
Yeah, I'm very grateful to be able to hold the space, and I just love being that center point, that grounding spot to just allow, you know, the connectivity to come in
Yeah.
and have truthful, wisdom-filled, and knowledgeful conversations. And
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing I'm more passionate about, really. So
No.
I'll do this anytime,
No.
and you're more than welcome to
Yeah.
have more sessions on here anytime.
Yeah. We'll come back and I can talk about, I don't know, some real fun stuff. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
we could even have one where we kind of like just like demonstrate or show, um, you know, like simple healing techniques that people can use with their hands or something, or we
Yeah.
can go over like
Mm-hmm.
chakras, all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there's tons. There's so much information. There's so much to share. So, but I think I mean, we covered a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah,
There was a lot. So, yeah, I don't even know what we covered, but we covered a lot. So that's
all
good.
that we needed.
Right. That's right. Yes. Yes.
All right,
So,
I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. I'd like to
okay.
thank you for sharing your experiences, your techniques, your wisdom and knowledge, and yeah, it's really beautiful. Like I felt all of it in my heart, and I'm very grateful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, I'm grateful for you to create like a platform and for inviting me to share in this experience. It's wonderful. We need more of this for sure. So
My
thank you.
my honor. I just want to thank you all for tuning in to another Sacred Light conversation. Very grateful to be able to hold this space and be able to provide and service for all of you. If you found this video helpful in any way with guidance, clarity, or being able to go about life in a more better, loving way, feel free to leave a comment below to give feedback. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell as well so you get notifications for future videos that are going to come. I'm going to leave information for Lisa, getting hold of Elisa down below in the description. Her Instagram will be there, along with my social media and my music as well. Thank you again. Wholeness, balance, love, vibration.
The illest to be, no ego, machismo with fuego, kundalini is my peril, saucy like queso, watch me with a wrist, no watch, only crystal bracelets, yeah we stay lit, yeah we stay lit.